Hi, my name is Annalisa, and in this video, I wanted to share my origin story. So, I am originally from the Philippines who came to the United Kingdom about over 20 years ago. In fact, in 1994, I came to the UK to get married. I was really young. I was 20, just a little bit before I turned 21 when I got married. My husband, my ex-husband at the time, was 23 and he was a student. So when I came to the UK, I worked. I had 3 jobs at the time while supporting him in his studies, and I had some time in me. So I also studied part-time with the Open University, and that sort of kept me busy. When my ex-husband at the time went to another university to do his master's degree, I wanted to do also a degree, but not in law. I was very interested in linguistics, and that would have meant me going to a different university from him, and I didn't want to be separated from him. So I checked what courses I could do in the same university, and the only course I could do at the time was law. I don't know why I decided law, but fortunately they accepted my application as a mature student because I was over 21 at the time when I enrolled. And if you're over 21, you're already considered mature. so so I got accepted and completed law degree. And when I had to decide whether to pursue a legal career or just get a job after the law degree, it was a very difficult choice because I've never really wanted to become a lawyer. It's never been, a lifelong ambition like some people have. They would say, well, I've always wanted to be a lawyer. In fact, I've never wanted to be anything else. When I graduated high school, I came from the Philippines, originally from the Philippines, and I only finished high school in the Philippines, and then worked in Holland, and then found my ex-husband and came to the UK to get married, and I just wanted to be self-sufficient but not a lawyer. So when I made that decision to just go with the flow and enrolled to become a solicitor, I had to take a loan, and that was quite a massive chunk of loan you have to get to to pay for the course itself. And there's no guarantee that you will get a training contract to even become a lawyer. And when I was doing my legal practice course, it was a very intense study and intense work. There's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of studying. And so even after I've done and spent all that money in the course fees, I still wasn't sure whether I wanted to be a solicitor. So when I failed one subject that I had to resit, I sort of like given up on working as a lawyer. I thought, well, this is not for me. Maybe I just wanted to, make use of my qualification and work in a law firm. And fortunately for me, there was an advertisement for a personal assistant to a senior partner in a law firm, and applied for that job, even though I did not have any experience on being a secretary, right? Because that's basically what a personal assistant is, a secretary, do secretarial work. So I went there and I got the job as a personal assistant. I was handling, posts. I was handling letters. So he was dictating letters to me, and that's how I got my experience and learn a little bit about what he was doing. So at that time, the senior partner who I was a personal assistant to was dealing with property, and he was he was very kind and decided that maybe I was quite good with my job. So he said, well, I will give you a training contract, because at the time you needed a training contract to become a lawyer, and so he was willing to give me a training contract. And so I willingly accepted. So I got trained for 2 years and then became a solicitor. When I became a solicitor, I was very apologetic about the fact that I was a lawyer. So when somebody asked me, what do you do? And I used to like sheepishly answer, I'm a lawyer. So I could not accept that I was a lawyer, even though I was already a lawyer. And it took a long time for me to really accept. I think maybe I could say maybe only about 15 years ago when I was quite accepting of my role or my label as a lawyer. So if somebody asks, what do you do? I'm a lawyer. Now I just can comfortably say I'm a lawyer, but before, oh my goodness, just as I qualified, when I first qualified, or even 5 years after qualification, if somebody asked me, what do you do? I'm a solicitor, really kind of apologetically saying it. I, I don't know why, but I just did not see myself as having this label of a lawyer. And when I worked for employers, the first job I had as a newly qualified person. So I was working for this department, and they created this department for me because I was training as a property lawyer, and I was quite good at it. I wanted to specialize in property, and so when I moved a firm in a small town in Devon, they created this sort of department for me. And at the time there were a lot of buying and selling houses. The conveyancing department was sort of the property was kind of booming, with this Northern Rock banks lending money to people who want to buy houses even though they don't have deposits, and sort of like 98%, or it was 80% mortgage or 90% mortgage, something like that. So it was very easy for people to buy houses, and it was during this boom time that I was allocated to a department. It was like my department. And so I really enjoyed it. But the first couple of months that I was there, obviously there were not many clients, and I felt so bad that I was there receiving salary, but I wasn't really working. I wasn't earning anything, because I could see, in the department, how much money did we make for the firm. And I think we made something like maybe, I don't know, to 1,200 for the whole month, because it was a new department that they created. So it was during that time that I kind of get the feeling that working for somebody is not really for me. It's not. I didn't like the fact that you have to ask for the permission to go on holiday or to take time off, or you have to be there specific time. Although I was very, very particular with my timekeeping, and I always want to make sure that I'm there really early and finish when I need to finish. So, but it only took so I was only working for a law firm, excluding my training. So 1, 2, 3, probably about 3 or 4 years that I was working for somebody. And then I decided, I really could not. I did not like the fact that somebody is overseeing your work, somebody criticizing. Well, it's criticizing. They say managing, but it's, I could not accept criticism. I don't know why I really do not like. It's so painful, like physically painful, mentally painful, for somebody to be overseeing your work and constantly having to prove to them that you are competent, that you know what you're doing, you understand the client's cases, you can communicate better, all these things. And so towards the end, I made the decision to leave. And it was also during this time where I had personal problem with my ex-husband. And so we got divorced, and we separated, and I had to leave from the town that I was working in, completely away. And this is where I ended up in London. And it was in London where I loved it, because we have this is the immigration is the one that I wanted to do from the beginning. When I was doing my degree, I did immigration law and human rights, family law, right to respect for family and private life. I did a dissertation on that, and I was very passionate, and I really wanted to do immigration. But because of the location where I was in, it was not possible for me to practice immigration because there weren't any clients. So if you want to do immigration, you'd have to move to London, and London was not the place that my ex-husband at the time was willing to go. So when I got divorced, I remained in London, and this is how it started with my with me working immigration. Then I, things happened in life, and I have a daughter. She's now 8, but before I had her, when I had her, afterwards it was difficult to get onto the job market. But my friend at the time, who was a Ukrainian Russian, he said to me, set up your practice. And so I set up my practice, but although I didn't know what I was doing, I just did not have a clue. So he said, I'm going to supply you with clients. So he had a lot of clients, and any clients that he was giving me, they wanted divorce, they wanted all kinds of, stuff that needed legal assistance. And that was how I started. But unfortunately, when you are working with somebody who is dealing with clients who on a different language that you don't understand, that kind of gives you a little bit of anxiety in case something goes wrong, and it'll end up on you. So I was a little bit maybe paranoid, but I was a little bit concerned. So I had to sever the relationship. And when I severed the relationship, all the clients kind of stopped. And so I had to rethink about whether or not to continue my practice. And this was in 2016 when I decided, okay, I want to do it on my own, but I didn't really know how I would start. I knew that the clients would stop because they would be going to him. I didn't want to deal with clients whose language is not, can't communicate with me, because they speak Russian, they speak Ukrainian, and I do not speak the language. And so although I had assistant, but it was very, very long-winded, and so I had to rethink about my future of the practice. And so I started from zero. And in 2016, it was touch and go with my practice. I thought maybe I should just stop practicing. And I should just go and work for somebody, or I have to learn some sort kind of skills. And the only skill that I was interested in, and I knew that was going to be very useful for myself personally, and for my practice, was to learn about digital marketing. And this is how I got into digital marketing, because either closed my firm and give up my practicing certificate, or learn about digital marketing and get clients quickly. So when this happened around sort of autumn in 2016, I was learning, I was checking, suddenly all these new things coming, about the whole world of digital marketing is a completely new world. And I learned about YouTube marketing, how you would, you need the videos. And at that time, I could not face myself in front of camera. I don't know how to talk in front of a camera. I don't even like my photos to be taken. So how much more, talking in front of a camera and be exposed to being judged. So I completely dismissed that idea of doing video marketing. And so I was still interested in digital marketing, but not what I found, as in YouTube marketing. And I was still on Facebook, and it wasn't until I think I attended and watched so many webinars about about how to make money online and how to get clients online. I watched so many webinars, and at one point it came to me that I think either someone suggested that I do a Facebook Live, but then I think it was at that point where I decided I have so much knowledge in my head, and if I close the firm, this knowledge that I have in my head are just going to go to waste because I'm not able to share it, and it would be such a shame. So that was the decision I made, that okay, I'm just going to go on Facebook Live, and maybe I'll get clients this way, or maybe I'll be able to share my knowledge and they'll find it useful. So I think my aim was not to waste my knowledge, but at the same time I wanted to see if I could maybe find clients. And so I remember making the decision of going on Facebook Live, and it was really, really scary. I didn't know what I was, how it was going to turn out. And I planned that what I was going to talk about was something that I really knew, from the top of my head, that I don't have to use a script. So I talked about employment rights because I was kind of really passionate about sharing this knowledge to people who don't know their employment rights. So migrants might be in the UK, but they don't know, what rights do they have? Do they have holiday pay? Because I get some people contacting me, does my employer have to pay my holiday? Can I take days off on my on bank holidays? So simple things like this, and I wanted to share my knowledge. I didn't want to keep it with me, so that's why I started on Facebook Lives, and that's how I started getting more clients and having the ideal clients, because I targeted clients that speak the same language as me, who are in the Filipino community, who are Filipino migrants working in the UK, living in the UK, and who needed assistance. And by doing this, I feel that clients trust me, clients approach me, clients instruct me without me having to chase them. And this is really my origin story. It has not been an easy ride. There's been a lot of struggles along the way, but I got here. I'm here doing Facebook Lives and getting comfortable about it. And so so I hope that if you are finding yourself at a crossroad and don't know what to do, whether to get clients, close your firm, or give up or do something else completely different, just rest assured that think about what's going to be hit in the future, and if you think that you are comfortable doing a Facebook Live to get more clients, then it's really not that scary. In the beginning it is, but it's not scary. I remember when I was doing my first video, I felt I was like a robot, like this. Hi, how are you? Yes, so we are talking about. So I'm sure one of these days I'm going to show you the clip of that first ever video that I did, the live video that I did. Okay, thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye.